Hello ladies and gentlemen, it is Andrew Esquivel here, and today happens to be December 21st, 2012. Now, it is only 3 a.m. today, and as we're supposed to believe that it's the end of the world. So here's my little documentary on everything. Now, for clarification purposes, I do live in Illinois in the United States. So keep that in mind with time zones, location, and weather and whatnot. So, why don't we talk about 2012? I am about 50% Belizean, which, for those of you who don't know, means Belize. And in Belize, we have the Mayan ruins, and I'm also part Mayan, and a lot Caucasian. That has absolutely nothing to do with today. I just thought it'd be interesting to say that. And to all the people who think I'm Mexican, no, not a single bit Mexican. I'm from a little country, a peninsula from Central America that no one seems to have ever heard of. Or at least my dad was. He was an immigrant. I was born in America. Lucky me. Anyway, it is 3 a.m. in Illinois. And there have been some crazy storms thus far. Quite interesting, in fact. The wind has been absolutely incredible for the whole day. Come with me, and you shall see a land of intense wind force. So, moving through the house. Let's see, where can I get a good source on the wind here? Let me open up this door. Let's see. You can actually hear the wind. Pretty strong out there. It's also... Oh, what the okay, that's unexpected. The door is literally frozen shut from the bottom. It was supposed to snow a little bit, and it did. Interesting. A lot of fog here. Jeez. And, the love of all, it's good and all the way to some strong-ass wind. Okay, wind. We get it. You're here. You're queer. Get used to it? I don't know. Mother Nature's on her period or something. There's a stop sign. It's rattling quite a bit. My hand is kind of freezing here too because this is a metal door handle. And we got a little bit of snow. We were supposed to get about 2 inches. And we only got about 1/2 of an inch, but it is very windy, very cold. So, as far as time goes, I don't know why I'm zooming in on this. I could easily have just walking close up to it. Closing the door, locking it. Just for time purposes, it is 3:23 a.m. And so far, the wind has been quite interesting when playing into today. So, up in Wisconsin, where my mother lives, quite interesting story there. It's supposed to get a foot of snow in about 24 hours, supposedly, but the weatherman is never right. We were supposed to have some pretty decent snow overnight, and now it's daytime. The most we got was a crap ton of wind, and not even a 1/2 inch of snow. Nevertheless, it did rain very hard. And the wind is still going on all up outside there. Wind. Mother Nature. Take a Midol. Seriously. Moving on. So, cruising around through my house. Going back. Walking around. Doing my thing. Okay. Back to my room. Now, all of you, or some of you, might be familiar with my computer. And my computer is very stable for the most part. It doesn't have any issues. Well, it does have one issue that I'm working on, but you see that login screen? That's not supposed to be there. I'm always logged in. Which, the only possible reason for that is I lost a little bit of power on my power strip, and the computer restarted. Either that or there was some sort of manual restart with Windows, but I normally don't have that set. So there must have been a power glitch, although I didn't notice any. I haven't really been here. And yes, this is my room. Silk bed sheets, microfleece blanket. Of course, and it's not made either. I am just that lazy. Yep. Get over it, folks. Those are $330 sheets that have not been made. For someone who enjoys the finer things in life, I'm pretty freaking cluttery, actually. Yada yada. Furry stuff up there, winter clothes down there. It has actually not snowed enough to justify the purchase of all that winter clothes. Actually, I'll show you. So, yeah, I've got specialized winter clothing. Cost me, I want to say altogether, maybe $500 so far. And it's not done yet. Most of it's from Burton, actually. It's snowboarding clothes for the most part, but does very well for insulation and waterproofing, so I use it whenever it's like really snowy and extreme out. And yes, I have it in all white, specifically because I like to blend in with the snow. It's just that fun. And I know you camouflage experts out there are going to be like, well, first of all, the snow is yes indeed white, but not everything around you is white, therefore your idea is ridiculous. And that's not the idea. The idea is, if I wanted to use it as camouflage, I could get it dirty with the environment around me and make it blend in more naturally. It is white, it stains easily, that's the point. Only good in snowy environments, though. It has yet to snow. Well, snow with anything significant. So, my ramblings. Do I believe the world's going to end? Well, I am Mayan and Belizean. Ooh. No. I don't think the world's really going to end, but it'd be cool to see if it does. And if it does, there really won't be a YouTube to put this on. Unless I go to the future. But, as far as I know, there's only one way to get to the future, and that takes a long time. It's called waiting, and that's annoying. So, moving on. Why make a documentary of myself on 2012? I've got nothing better to do. So, with that being said, so far, and I will continuously make this, so far, the weather conditions are in favor of the 2012, if you catch my drift. However, this is Illinois. We've got some batshit insane weather. Nuttier than squirrel shit. Pretty strange weather. And if you're wondering about that noise, that is the heating system of the house. You see, it's about, I want to say 30 degrees outside, Fahrenheit, for all you international folk. Now, here around in Illinois, that really ain't that cold. We're used to it getting to about -10 every so often. We can deal with the constant change of temperature. But that can't be said for about 15% of the drivers around here. First time it snows, I guarantee you, every half of a mile, there's an accident. Which is why I got a dash cam, actually. I got a dash cam to put in my car because I thought it'd be interesting to capture all the carnage that happens when the snow falls around here. but there haven't been much of a snowfall. However, there was some unlucky idiot who probably got in a crash because earlier today I heard a police car, an ambulance, and a fire truck go by, which is not too uncommon in my area. But it's predictable as to what happened because it just happened right after the snow started to fall. Come on, people. It's not even a half inch of snow, and you're crashing. You slow down, you take longer to brake, you don't accelerate as quickly. It's not too hard. Now, some tips. Make sure your tires are inflated because you will lose 1 psi for every 10 degrees that it falls, Fahrenheit. You'll also lose about 1 psi under normal conditions of driving your car every month. Make sure your tire pressure is good. That's the first thing to do. It's your first line of defense when you're driving in a snowy environment or conditions like in Illinois. Second off is don't use summer tires, you morons. Just saying. In fact, in the winter season around here, it's illegal to drive your car without at least all season. You know why? Because summer tires don't work well in the winter. Yeah. Did I just blow your mind? Are you like, dude, that is a revelation? Because if you're thinking that, I'm sorry, but don't go full retard. It's dangerous to go full retard. So, as I sit here waiting for a major catastrophe like the moon crashing into the earth or the sun suddenly bursting into a giant, magnificent ball of radiated, induced flames coming to engulf the earth in some sort of cataclysmic event, I sit here in my chair next to my computer, where I'm basically always at, just chilling. So yeah, what have you done with your life? I guess, for the sake of the video, if this was the end of the world, how would you be spending it? Would you be like me, sitting here documenting everything that you do? Or would you be out partying, planning to get laid for either the first or last time in your supposed life? Would you be living every moment like it was your last because you thought it would be? Or are you taking advantage of all the inebriated females, knowing that you will inadvertently have yourself an end-of-the-world baby that will take longer than the end of the world to raise? In other words, you're going to be paying for that for a number of decades. Yeah. Use a condom. Gotta be smart. The more you know, because knowledge is power. Nah, but in all seriousness, what do you do when the world is supposed to end? There's been a number of examples. You can prep, you can pray, you can do nothing, or you can party. Those are generally the four things that happens. But let's look back on a few times the world was going to end. First, the one that I can remember is when I was younger, but I didn't really take note of it. It was Y2K. That means the year 2000. And the supposed reason for the end of the world on that was not really the end of the world, but the fact that technology was going to kill us. Here's why. A lot of computers ran with an operating system that supposedly was not designed to work well with the change of the year. You see, when the clock on the computers rely heavily, I know this, I'm a computer technician. Don't believe me? I am A+ certified, Network Plus certified, and Security Plus certified. I am also a certified microcomputer servicing technician. Okay? Let me just say that. Well, computers rely heavily on the time and date being correct. If it is not correct, many programs will fail to run, and in fact, most of your computer will fail to function at all. Yes, and this was the main problem because the computers were not really designed, or at least the operating systems were not designed to handle a change from 1990 or from the 19s to the 2000s so easily. There was some sort of glitch in the system per se. And it was assumed that since so many things ran off of computer technology, that the sudden change would make the computers stop working. And that would cause a cataclysmic events that would end the world. People would die in mass hordes, electronics would stop working, and since we rely so heavily on electronics, we would all die. That was the theory. Obviously, not the case. That being said, there is a specific time and date you can set your computer to. Obviously, way far in the future compared to right now, and it will screw up a lot of things on your computer. And I mean, you're going to see a technician to fix it if you set your time and date to this. I'm not going to say what it is, because I know there's going to be some idiot who's going to go out there and do it. Don't do that. Moving on, the next event that I can recall was... Oh, what was it? Let's see, it was Y2K... And then... Oh, yeah, the Large Hadron Collider issue. The particle accelerator, known as the Large Hadron Collider, was there to smash atoms and do stuff. Mainly to prove or disprove the existence of the Higgs boson, which, if the world doesn't end today, later next year, in 2013, it's estimated that we will discover whether the Higgs boson is real or not. And a lot of things hinge on the Higgs boson, things like, I want to say the Big Bang Theory has a lot to do with the Higgs boson, considering it is estimated that the Higgs boson was the God particle that existed just mere fraction of a moment after the Big Bang, which helped create things. Also things like supersymmetry and things like that, antimatter. Well, we know antimatter exists. But nevertheless, getting off topic. So, the Large Hadron Collider, there was a rumor going around saying that it could have a side effect of a black hole. And people were freaking out, thinking the black hole was going to become enormous and engulf the Earth. That was the doomsday theory, when in reality, the black hole that would have been created would have been so tiny and would only exist for such a small fraction of a second that it would absolutely do nothing to anyone. And the day, it was only a few years ago, and the day that it happened, the Large Hadron Collider experienced some technical difficulties. They had to fix it. World saved, right? Well, it just so happens that they've been smashing particles in this fashion for quite some time now. There's never been an issue where the world has been at stake. Okay, so that was the other doomsday thing, and the whole doomsday thing about 2012 getting to current time is actually not about Mayan bullshit, and I'll tell you that right now. It actually hinges on an issue that we've been dealing with all year, which is solar flares. Okay, disregard all the Mayan calendar bullshit. That's not the case. Scientifically, we do have an issue. There is a summer solstice. And no, the summer solstice and solar flares do not hinge anything whatsoever on the Mayans, alright? Keep that in mind. Throughout the entire year, we've been experiencing some abnormally large solar flares. There have been situations where I believe some satellites in Japan got hit by the solar flares, and the solar flares give some sort of, I want to say like EMP kind of issue, where the electronics get fried, and it screws everything up. You can't really recover from that without manually going in and changing things. Now, the theory is that during the summer solstice is when the solar flares are the worst, and we're due, supposedly today, for a major solar flare, which is supposedly going to wipe out a lot of electronics. Now, if that's true, looking back to a few years ago, on the east coast of the United States, the power grid went out, and within a few days there was total anarchy, deaths, murders. There was like no law enforcement to help. There was looting, crime, anything you could imagine. Just a few days. And then we get the power grid back on, and everyone's like, oh. Now, But here's the thing, if a solar flare hit with an EMP-like effect, the electronics would be fried. It's not a simple issue of, okay, let's go fix this, that, then turn it back on. No. When it's fried, it's dead, it's gone. Modern-day cars wouldn't work because they rely heavily on electronics to function. Computers would be fried. That's the big thing, computers would be fried. Basically, any electronic that is not Faradated will be fried. And in a society that survives solely on electronic devices, including hospitals, transportation, information, all that, if it were suddenly to disappear for a prolonged amount of time, we as a species wouldn't die, but anarchy would break out and society would crumble. Martial law would go into effect. And it's funny because the U.S. government does prepare for these types of things. If the United States government does have a surplus or a cache of supplies that are on vacuum tube technology in case of an electromagnetic pulse issue or solar flare, because these devices will still work. The Russian MiG, I believe, was specifically designed with vacuum tube technology. Yeah, it wasn't as fast or as agile as the other planes, but if there was an electromagnetic pulse, even from, let's say, a nuclear blast, which around the time was very feasible, it would not cease to function. It would still work. And this design is tried and true with these scenarios, which is why the government still has them. They won't sell them. So there's a legitimate reason. And another reason, end of the world kind of scenario, is going along with if a solar flare were to destroy electronics and go into martial law in the United States, at least. Homeland Security has purchased, I want to say millions, if not billions, of hollow point ammunition. I don't remember what caliber. Basically enough to kill everyone in the United States a few times over, as well as a few million, if not billion, 223 ammunition for semi-automatic and fully automatic rifles. You got to think to yourself, Homeland Security only deals with issues within the United States, and not even the military uses hollow point ammunition. Begs the question is, why would a security agency that's supposed to protect us be buying ammunition that not even the military uses? It's because, supposedly, they're preparing for total anarchy. The whole martial law thing, if that ever goes into effect, the government wants to make sure that they can put down people efficiently. And that's the issue, is going along with this. Recently there was, unfortunately, and God rest their souls, all those poor children and staff members who died at the elementary school. And this led to a public outcry about firearms, and a lot of firearms dealers have in fact pulled many of their more specialty rifles and weaponry off the shelves. Even Cheaper Than Dirt no longer sells any type of gun.